OMGBBG! Welcome back to another BBG Talks. Man, there has been so much stuff that has come out in the last few days. We have to break it down and talk to you guys about at least a little bit of it.
What do you mean a little bit? Everything about Beyblade X.
Oh, there's so much, guys. Like, we actually might have to break this up into multiple videos, but in general, though, the biggest thing that we want to talk about is the new gameplay. Like, the new Beys, you know, the new stadium. So fun. It looks so sick.
It's crazy.
Unreal.
So where do we even start?
Okay, so I think in this BBG Talks, let's really talk about the new type of Bey, like the system, and the stadium, obviously, all that stuff, and the type of gameplay, okay? That's the biggest thing. Like, how is your Beyblade experience going to be when you're actually in the stadium and battling?
Yeah, so starting off from Beyblade X previous announcements, we pretty much only knew about the logo, right? And now we actually see the whole gameplay come through the trailer. So the trailer was actually sick.
We'll throw up the trailer right now. You can take a peek at it, but hopefully you guys saw it already. Essentially, the Beys are going to be spinning around super high speed this generation. You know, it's going to be taking advantage of these unique features of the stadium and launch the Beys into like a speed that you're not even used to seeing. There's a trailer where there's a bunch of adults in a tournament battling in like this underground area, just making it seem so intense.
Yeah, they're really trying to push Beyblade X as not only a game, but a sport.
Yeah.
They kept saying gear sports in the trailer and in the announcements. They're really catering towards people of all ages.
And on the actual Beyblade.Takara Tomy website, you can see on that website, there's actually text there in Japanese mentioning that Beyblade is headed towards sports. So they're trying to make it more intense, more for everybody, and they're doing a fantastic job with it.
So let's begin by talking about the special gimmicks of this Beyblade X series. So there's still going to be burst gimmicks in this gameplay, but the added gimmick is the super acceleration with the stadium, because there's actually teeth along the edge of it, and there is a ridge, plus it catches onto the bottom of the Bey, which is called the bit, making the Bey go super fast, and they call it Xtreme Dash.
Yeah, it's actually unreal that we have such a unique feature in the stadium. It kind of reminds me of like Zero G a little bit. You know, once you actually get in that perfect spot and you rotate, the Beys like fly around really fast.
Right.
They're like throwing that super speed ability into a more standard type looking stadium.
Yeah, I feel like this whole Beyblade series could have been called Beyblade Gears or something like that. Because if they're sticking with this gimmick for the whole series, then like that's pretty much a specialty of this whole season.
Yeah, for real. So let's break down the structure of the Bey, essentially, or like the system of the Bey. So there's 3 parts right off the bat.
Yeah.
Now, don't get us wrong, like it's probably going to change. I feel like they're going to add more parts as the series moves on. You have to remember that this is essentially like the pre-dual layer, or basically the single layer.
Super simple.
Yeah,
like
super simple designs.
Season 1.
Yeah.
Pre-season 1.
A lot of people might not even think that the designs of these Beys are that nice, but keep in mind, this is super early.
Yeah.
We have like 5 seasons to come. They're going to start looking crazy. So we have 3 parts. The top is the blade, where there's metal now, right? Like, it seems like every Bey that they're releasing is going to have metal, which is sick.
Yeah.
Kind of like a throwback to Metal Fight Beys.
Metal on metal contact,
Yeah,
not just metal on the middle part where like, you know, like burst.
Exactly.
Now it's literally Metal Fight plus burst.
And then the disc part, I say, quote, disc part, is the ratchet now.
Yeah. So the ratchet determines the Bey's height, and also, like, I guess it probably wraps around the blade, or like causes the Bey's movements to be different, you know, depending how it's designed and stuff like that. So that's pretty standard.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of variation with all the different ratchet parts. So there's probably going to be some special features incorporated into this. But yeah, it's going to determine the height. That's the biggest thing. And like the center of gravity, all that stuff.
Yeah. So the next part is called the bit, which is pretty much the performance tip or the driver in this generation. And so this one determines like pretty much how your Bey is going to move. Pretty standard, just like a driver.
And then it does have like looks like the teeth on the bit that will grab onto the edge of the stadium and then send you launching. So
exactly. So it's actually really cool because the whole gear design, it really reminds me of our custom launcher, the gear multiplier launcher, right? Because both catches on top, and then when you accelerate in that movement, it just goes super fast, like never before seen speed in Beyblade.
Yeah, so essentially they're just taking advantage of gears, basically, different gear ratios in order to make the gameplay even more high speed than before.
Yeah. It's
So
kind of like
crazy.
Hasbro Slingshot.
Yeah, like Slingshot. The idea of it was,
Idea
that
of
it was
it.
gonna hit the rails and speed up and stuff,
Yeah.
but like leave it to Takara Tomy to actually perfect the system. The ridge of the stadium where all the teeth are, it's not completely round. It has like that jagged corner there where it's meant to send it straight back into the center if you have a more passive bay.
Yeah.
So very Slingshot like.
But it's like, that means no more flower patterns, right? Because you always want to like rip it flat so that way you hit that
Yeah.
acceleration.
I did see like people talking about that online and stuff, and gameplay will be focused on launching flatter. So like why wouldn't you want to take advantage of the super high speed?
Yeah.
Right? So now that you know a little bit about the system and the stadium, let's talk about how you can actually win your battles. So the point system.
Yeah, it's kind of unique in this generation too.
We did know that it was changing up a little bit. Like bursts weren't going to be, the
As
end all be
prominent,
all.
right? Yeah.
So now we have 4 different ways to win. So you still have your traditional spin finish, right? Like if you outlast your opponent, you get 1 point.
Point.
If you get a over finish, you knock it into one of those small pockets, you get 2 points.
2 points.
And then if you get the burst finish, it's also 2 points. I'll leave it to you to talk about the latest version here.
Latest
the
thing.
way to win.
The extreme finish is 3 points. And so pretty much it's kind of like soccer. You got the goal. This like red area is pretty much the extreme zone. So if you knock your opponent inside the extreme zone using, that acceleration gimmick, you get 3 points. So that's unique. That's the brand new system in this generation.
And you can see that in the graphic here that extreme zone where you want to get your opponent into is exactly across from where that launching point is around the stadium. So if you go around the stadium, you lock in the teeth and you accelerate, you'll hit the point where you get shot right back to the center.
Yeah.
And then hopefully you can knock your opponent into the extreme zone.
Exactly. You have to accelerate in order to knock them out into that extreme zone.
So it looks like there's 3 total pockets in the stadium, 2 smaller ones in the corners, and then the extreme one.
Yeah, and it's also 4 points to win.
Yeah, you have to battle like a minimum, and you have to win twice at least, right? You need at least the extreme finish for 3, and then maybe a spin finish for 1.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to make very lengthy battles in the anime, because in bursts, there were so many battles where like first to 2, you get a burst in the first round, battle is over, right?
But these battles are so fast now, right? Because
True,
of the
true.
quick acceleration, so maybe that makes up for it.
True. Very
Yeah. So that's the gameplay. Let's talk about the other aspects of the game. So just like in Burst, they're gonna have the app incorporated into Beyblade X. Yeah. So I'm actually kind of surprised that they kept the app or the way you get points, because I felt like that wasn't developed very well in the last generation. But you can pretty much get points by buying products, scanning the QR code. You can go to tournaments. These are all looking like it's all Japan exclusive too, which is also kind of disappointing because Beyblade X announced and dropped us all these information all in Japanese. No presence in North America or in English, which would have been nice if everything was like launched at the same time.
True.
Or if like we get to use the app in outside of Japan, right?
I guess for like everyone in the Western world, or like actually not even just the Western world, anywhere that is not in Japan, they didn't get to take advantage of this, so it felt like it died in the community.
Yeah.
But then the community inside Japan, like they maybe really loved
true.
the fact that you could use an app and the Rare Bay Get Battle and all that stuff.
Yeah, so
right?
the Rare Bay Get Battle is also back, and they do have a Rare Bay. Cobalt Drake is the name of this bay.
Looks sick.
It looks like Dragoon, but it's not Dragoon.
Yeah, like the shape of it legit looks like Dragoon, but
Yeah.
it looks like it's gonna be a right spin on based on the wings, the shape of that.
Yeah. And they call the Baylogger now, they call it the Battle Pass. It looks like it works similar to the same as before. Get
Yeah.
points and stuff like that. You still attach it to the launcher. You rip your bays. You can see the bays in the app.
We're obviously gonna get ourselves a bay logger just to like add to our accessories, right? To our launcher setup and everything like that. You guys, I don't know, like, are you going to buy a bay logger and collect points and all that stuff, or do you think it's going to be a waste of money? Like, you'd rather spend that money on bays? You know, like, how much will global customers, international customers, get to take advantage of these new systems?
Yeah. But yeah, that's a lot of info for Beyblade X gameplay.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of all this info from Takara Tomy? Like, those trailers and all the footage looks so cool.
Looks so epic. I'm really surprised that they put so much focus on like the whole sports thing and stuff. We've been talking about this since we started this channel.
I'm wondering
One
if
day
that's-
we're gonna go to the Olympics. like stuff like that. Like we were joking about that.
I'm wondering if it's just like a marketing gimmick though. Like maybe they're just pushing that right now, and then later on they're like, screw it, you know?
Okay, the pessimistic side of me wants to say yes, it is probably just a gimmick because what you're gonna have international athletes convert from like, you know, weightlifting and all these other crazy sports like soccer or football and stuff like that, and they're gonna be like, I'm gonna be the next gold medalist in Beyblade. You know, it's hard to say.
I always say Beyblade's kind of like bowling. Is bowling an Olympic sport yet? It is, right?
Bowling has a super high level.
There you go.
Yeah, super high level sport. Yeah,
it's kind of like that.
There's like a level of coordination and skill with it.
Maybe not in this generation, but we're heading there.
Yeah,
we're in that direction.
When you and I are like 70 years old, we'll finally see some Beyblade tournaments that are like to that scale.
Yeah, we'll watch it.
Yeah. There'll be famous athletes and stuff
in person. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a breakdown of the new gameplay and the system. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit from this video. This information's been out for a few days now at least, so you probably saw it online, but yeah, that's a bit of a roundup. There's a ton more of info that we want to talk about, so stay tuned. We're going to be doing some more BBG talks and
more breakdowns,
info videos for you guys.
Yeah, that's it for now. Let us know what you guys think. We should be getting our hands on Beyblade X very soon, possibly next month.
Yep.
But that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video, subscribe, and as always,
geeks out.